Hi guys, Grant Nelson again here with the Mustache Off-Grid YouTube channel. In case you're new to the channel, I cover various off-grid and homesteading topics. I live off-grid in southern Missouri in a one-room cabin, and I have no public utility hookups on my property. I use solar and other things like that, and a lot of old-fashioned methods. But anyway, I'm just going to get right into the video today. Figured I'd give you guys an update on everything going on out here. I haven't made a video in a few weeks here. I've just been busy, a lot of family stuff going on up in Illinois, so I had to go up north for that. And just been busy with a lot of things, and that's a long drive, so just been really busy. But anyway, getting a lot of gardening done. I figured I'd give you guys an update on the garden. I got potatoes planted. I planted 10 new fruit trees, 4 peach, 4 apple, and 2 plum. Still waiting for this freshly planted one to have some leaves come on. You can see some more potatoes coming up right here. This is a radish right here. It's probably about ready to be picked, actually. There's a couple of them in there. I usually eat the greens as well. I got a couple really small cabbage plants in here. We'll see if I can get them to do anything. This is where I'm going to plant my squash and okra. I was trying to set up an irrigation system. Doesn't look the greatest, so I'm probably not going to use that. I'm going to do something different. But here's some peaches. I've got lots of peaches on this tree. You can see how many there is in here. There's lots of them. I would say if I had to estimate, because there's a bunch on the backside too, there's probably 20 plus in there. So garden's looking good. I've got a lot of squash and a lot of okra to plant, and this is a corner post I built. Basically, it's kind of a good way to use your rocks, build a corner post. This post right here is kind of okay, but I wanted to put something there because it's gonna, you can see it's pulled a little bit that way. That way I could maybe tighten it up to that a little bit. Also, this is all the space I cleared. There's a lot of clover coming up in here, red clover. It seems like that grows best compared to fescue and everything in areas that haven't had anything planted before. It germinates a lot better. Oh, wow, they're fast. It looks like I have a few apples coming on. A lot of them fell off the sprouts, but I have a lot of peaches, so that looks like it's going to be good this year. We didn't have usually our average last frost date is April 20th, but this year we didn't get a frost. You know, I think the last one was probably April 1st or April 2nd, so usually the peaches will do really well when you don't get an early frost. So it's looking good for that. Been very nice weather. It's supposed to be in the 70s for the next 2 or 3 weeks, which is perfect in my opinion. Been working on the log cabin a little bit. I figured I'd give you guys an update on that. I'm working on the interior flooring right now, building floor joist. So that's kind of where I'm at with that process. I've kind of been taking it easy this week. See, this is getting ready to be weed eated down here, but figured I'd show you guys the log cabin progress. You can drive the truck right down here, but I usually just walk down the hill here. You can see it right there, how it looks so far. It's coming along pretty good, really. I'll show you guys what's being worked on. This is all flooring under here. You can see the building here. Pretty interesting. You can see I've got some boards in here. I'm putting in the floor joist. put this big log across as the center beam for the floor joist, because I didn't want to buy a big old LVL beam. You can see how I'm doing the sides with the I'm building the joist hanger. You can see how it's done on this side as well. These are pretty sturdy. I still got to put a few more nails and bolts into them, but I mean, I believe that could hold a few ton, probably a ton or two. So I'm not too worried because it's not going to be that much weight. These are going to go laterally across, and then the floorboards are going to go this way. But anyway, you guys can see what's going on here. I did have a tree fall on that corner there and crease up the edge a little bit, but it's not too bad. Nothing I can't fix. So I've just been stressed out, and like I said, I've been running rampant the last couple weeks. So yeah, everything's going well. You know, but the more that I have driven around and paid attention to the news of what's going on in the world, the more I've kind of wanted to take a step back from technology in general and, you know, go further off grid, try to be further off grid. So that's one thing I'm working on. Recent step I did was I recently got a, and I haven't really activated it yet or started it yet, but I'm gonna soon. I got one of them prepaid phones from Walmart. Anyway, I figured it was relevant to discuss the phone situation because right now I have a smartphone. I find that while I live out here off grid, I tend to be like this, just looking at my screen quite a bit. I read a lot. I like to read a lot, but sometimes you're sitting there staring at the screen. Not productive, not what you need to be doing. So I kind of think I'm going to take a step back from this phone. I've been looking at some alternatives. I got this prepaid phone for $30 for Walmart. I figured it's a step in the right direction. You can just buy like a prepaid card at Walmart. It says AT&T Singular Flex 2. So I believe it's a 4G. So if you're one of them people that doesn't like the 5G or thinks something about it, something to consider. There is some basic internet on it. I'm not going to use it much, maybe the GPS if I'm driving. But for $30 a month, the phone's $29.88. You can get unlimited talk and text for $30, and that's really what I want it for. So anyway, I figured take a step back from technology, and this would be a step in the right direction. Anyway, just something that I'm doing. I thought it was relevant to people living off grid. You know, it's kind of crazy. Maybe it's some sort of a conspiracy you could pull into it, but they don't make the prepaid minute phones really anymore. And even the ones they do make, the minutes now expire. I used to get like a brick track phone when I was in 8th grade, and you could just buy minutes, buy texting data, and you know, I don't think they expired. I'm pretty sure they stayed on it forever, but they got rid of that option now. It's all subscription based, so you pay monthly. It's like 1 month, 2 month, 3 month, and it seems to me like they're kind of trying to take away that option. I also noticed there may be some sort of phone service that's more anonymous. This is AT&T, but they still want your address and where you live and all that stuff. I'm not that concerned giving it out because I'm not using the phone for nefarious purposes. But what business is that of theirs if I'm paying cash, you know, for a phone service? I mean, it seems irrelevant, you know, just an opinion. But because this is supposed to be a private company, right? Not a government organization, AT&T. I don't know. Just something to consider, guys. But anyway, that was some things that I'm one step I'm taking to try to get away from the phone. Eventually I'd like to get rid of the phone altogether, but I think taking a step back from the data usage type of phones, the phones that are basically a handheld computer, I think that's a step in the right direction for me to be a little more closer with nature, closer off-grid. Another thing that's interesting, even the smartphone I have, if you don't have a phone service, so like if you don't have a phone provider, you can still use the internet on it on public Wi-Fi. So like if I go to the library or I go to McDonald's or something in town, I could still use the Wi-Fi on that phone and still use Google and stuff on it, and basically use it as like a computer, laptop, tablet type thing, the iPhone, smartphone, whatever you want to call it. So that's something to consider. Also, you can use things like WhatsApp and Facebook Messenger to make phone calls even without a phone service. So if you connect to public Wi-Fi, you can still make phone calls with that phone using Facebook Messenger or WhatsApp. Just kind of an interesting thing to consider as well. If you want to be frugal, or if you just don't want to, you want to have the ability to call, use a phone, because obviously they don't have pay phones anymore. And you're just looking for alternatives. Because living off grid, contacting people, you can write a letter, obviously, but sometimes if you have family and things like that, you might want to call them. So there's just some things I figured I'd mention, alternative communication sources to just a regular pace, whatever per month option. You can use public Wi-Fi and not pay anything, or you can use a brick phone and maybe save a little bit of money. You're still going to pay something for the talk and text data, etc. Now, some of you guys might be wondering, how do I upload my YouTube videos without a cell phone? Well, first off, I film them on a GoPro, which can be charged with the same charger as my cell phone. And then I use my laptop. Neither item requires the internet to film and edit. And then basically once I get the video edited, I upload it on public Wi-Fi at the library or wherever else I feel like using public Wi-Fi in town. Usually library is my favorite. So anyway, those are just some things I figured I'd mention for people wanting to live off grid, wanting to live more frugally. Maybe you're wanting to disconnect from electronics a little bit. And also I find that using that type of option will limit your screen time. It'll make you have more reflection on reality and not having a TV in front of you all day. It's not a TV, but I just think it tends to make me restless. Not that I'm concerned about anything, but more to the point that I just feel like it's not reality. I'm seeing things online that I don't want to see. Some of them I do want to see when I'm looking for news sources or entertainment or things like that. But I feel like there's just more natural and better ways to be entertained, less indoctrination. I'm mostly, I've talked about it previously in other videos, living off grid. I'm mostly trying to secede from society in a way. And that being said, I feel like taking a step back from screens is something that has to be done. I'm a young guy, so I grew up with computers in a general basis using the internet because I'm 30 years old. So obviously, with that being said, I'm used to using them. I didn't really get a phone until I was maybe a freshman or a sophomore in high school, so I kind of was one of the last generations that really even had an experience without it, because kids get it at a very young age now. getting on the conspiracy train a little bit. You know, I see a lot of stuff going on with the Neuralink chips, what they're doing with the data, the 5G, just a lot of conspiracies around all that stuff. Whether any of it's valid or not is one thing, but it's clear to me that there's a surveillance state in this country. And, you know, I'm kind of just trying to disconnect. Like I said, I'm trying to secede from society and just create my own island out here, like I said. So, yeah, figured I'd discuss that. What else was I going to discuss? And guys, I don't really have a ton to discuss today, but I figured I'd go on a little bit about some of the cell phone thing. I figured I'd discuss and give a little update on my gardening, which is going well this year, and just figured I'd give an update on the log cabin, and it's being built. So anyway, I think that's good for today. Thank you for watching. Hope you guys enjoyed the channel, and if you do, feel free to like and subscribe, and just thank you for watching, and God bless. Bye. Sit. Sit. Good boy. Good boy. Don't forget to like and subscribe. Make Bailey famous for YouTube. Hope you all have a great rest of your day, and thank you for watching.